Welcome to Funeral Potatoes and Wool Mittens, a show for people who embrace the warm and cozy spirit of everyday living in the Midwest. From the blog Random Sweets, I'm your host, Stacy Mergenthal. What started as a friendly Thanksgiving invitation, which was made to work around their son's hockey schedules, it soon grew into an annual Friendsgiving tradition and eventually a monthly supper club, too. I recently sat down with 3 friends who have been celebrating Friendsgiving together with their families since 2016. Now, their story may inspire you to create a special way to celebrate the season of thankfulness with your friends. Recipes and photos from my guests, Ann Park, Lisa Svobodny, and Michelle Bouchard, are on my website, randomsweets.com. When I think about what makes Friendsgiving so special, it's really about people and those friends that have become really your chosen family, because we have to have holidays with our families, but you guys are doing something special where you're taking your friends and your chosen family and celebrating a fun holiday together. And you show up year after year, you bring your favorite dish, your stories, probably a cocktail, a bottle of wine, a few bottles of wine. So today we are joined by Lisa Svobodny, Michelle Bouchard, and Ann Park. And we're going to talk about you guys celebrating your Friendsgiving together for so many years. And I know that your table is full. You probably have lots of tables. And laughter probably started some traditions, maybe some things that you've done every year or that you tried once and maybe it never worked out. I don't know. But, I just can't wait to hear how it all started and how it's going. So if you each want to just introduce yourselves and...
Well, I'm Ann Park. I've known all of these ladies for a long time. We all kind of got to know each other through hockey. I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Dylan just got married not too long ago. Ella's in college. I own Tropical Smoothie Cafe here in Brookings. I partnered with a gal, opened one in Aberdeen, and we're working on a couple in Sioux Falls.
Oh, interesting. Fun. Where are the ones in Sioux Falls going to be? Do you know yet?
We haven't quite figured that out yet. We're working on looking at properties.
Okay. But there aren't any tropical smoothies down there, right? These would
Mm-mm.
be the first 2. God,
Yep.
congratulations.
Yep. Thanks.
And when you say hockey, it wasn't us playing hockey. We all met each other because our
Yes.
boys played hockey together. Okay.
Yes.
Lisa Svobodny. I have 3 boys. My oldest is 24 and the twins are 21. I'm a marketing professional. I love to cook. I love to entertain. I do not like to bake, which those of you who've been listening to Stacy for a while knows that's her expertise. And so it was wonderful when our boys were growing up because she always brought the goodies. I love to read cookbooks and find new recipes to try. And I always say that a recipe is a template, not instructions.
My name's Michelle, and I work at Eros in Sioux Falls, and I have one son that lives in town still. We moved to Brookings about 25 years ago, and our family is a ways away. So for me, it was really great when I found my hockey family. It really lent a lot to my life. So
Where did you move from, Michelle?
we moved from Illinois.
Okay, so you were kind of Midwest. I mean, Illinois to me is still
Yeah,
Midwest. So,
I'm a Midwest girl for sure. I grew up in Michigan.
oh, okay, sure. And Lisa, I always remember that you were the cook and not the baker in your household. So
I don't enjoy baking either.
you don't, Anne?
No, I
No.
don't. I love to cook, but I do not like to bake.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
neither. I think that's why all get along so well. And we're always sharing recipes and yeah,
Yeah.
and there's never cakes or cookies in those recipes.
Well, that you guys do the most important thing is the cooking. That's essential. You have to do that. Baking is just for fun, right? I wish I was a better cook, more experimental. And now it's hard with all of us. We're empty nesters. And so
Yeah.
that's a whole nother challenge is I don't bake as much as I used to. So,
My son Jeffrey has found a love for baking. And so he's always taking things to work with him and trying to give them away as he's tried some new recipe or tested something.
oh, that's great. So now you do have a baker in the family.
Yes,
Yeah.
someone to whom I can assign dessert.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, you need those people that will do the different things and bring the veggies and whatever. So, well, what is Friendsgiving?
You said it well in your introduction, Stacy. Friendsgiving for us is the Thanksgiving holiday with the friends that have become family to us. And it started for us accidentally through hockey, which you just heard, brought all of us together. But most of our family lives far away. Anne used to always travel somewhere fun for Thanksgiving. And one year we had a hockey tournament that started on Friday. And I didn't feel I could invite people to come for Thanksgiving and say, oh, but you have to be out by 7 a.m. the next day when they came from hours and hours away. And so, just in general, chatting with Anne, realized we were in the same space. And I said, well, bring your family and come on over to our home. And it has just grown from there. But it really started with celebrating with those close to us.
Do you celebrate it on Thanksgiving?
Always on Thanksgiving.
And everyone is welcome. So it's not just our three families. Sometimes we have additional families who aren't able to go to their tradition for one reason or another. My mother has always joined us, not always the first year or two, but for the last many years has always joined us. Uh, Sometimes Michelle's family is able to come join us. And it really is just a welcoming anyone who's available, we'd love to have you be a part of the day. So it's not friends or family, it is friends and family.
So who hosted that first one? Was that at your house, Lisa, then?
It was, and it was at my house the first couple of years, and then Anne finally convinced me to give up the reins and let it rotate, which I
I
understand
loved
now
it.
because
I
we
love,
all love to entertain.
yeah, that's exactly it. I love to entertain, and I was like, well, I want to do it. I want to host. So
Hmm.
So
I
if
threw
you're
in there.
wondering who the planner is in this group, I think you might have just figured that out.
It's Anne, isn't it? It's always been Anne.
No,
No?
it's
No, it's
Lisa.
Lisa.
Oh.
She's always the first one who contacts us, like, whose house is it at this year? What are we making and what can we bring? So she's always the first one to put out the note.
So without Lisa, you'd be like a couple days before Thanksgiving saying, who's doing what and where is it this year? Who has to clean their
Definitely.
house?
Pretty much, yes.
Well, do you remember that first one then? How did you say, okay, you bring this dish, or did you assign things out? How has it evolved over the years?
Well, I think that first one, I was maybe a little bit of a control freak, and I asked Anne to bring wine and cocktails because I wanted to do
That's
it
what I always
all.
have to bring.
So that definitely has evolved. But I think the first year or two, that's how it started. Now we have a framework, and whomever is hosting really organizes the meal, is in charge of the turkey and the basic traditions, and then assigns a few courses to other people.
So that answers the question, do you do a traditional Thanksgiving dinner every year, or does it change? Do you ever say, oh, let's do Mexican food this year? Or are you doing traditional turkey stuffing or dressing?
Traditional stuff every year. I mean, there might be a twist on some of the things, but it's always turkey. We've had Dan does a really great turkey on the grill. We've had smoked turkey. We've done it traditional.
And so for those that don't know, Dan is Lisa's husband. So he's out smoking and making the turkey. Okay. How about games and things? Did you guys, well, Lisa, you sent me a picture of the boys out doing snowmen. So you had snow that year. Do you plan activities, or because the kids were little then when you started? Did you say it was 2016?
It was 2016. I would say our activities are more organic. Some years we'll pull out the board games after dinner. Usually there's a walk involved, sometimes a backyard fire or a hot tub, depending on whose house it is at and what the weather is like. So we usually do something, but it's not something we organize in advance.
And does it depend now that the kids are older and of drinking age? Does that make a difference with some of the games that you play? It doesn't get that crazy.
Oh, it has gotten crazy.
Well, why did you decide to keep doing it every year?
Hockey. I mean, it was always hockey until the kids were graduated. The boys were graduated. So, and even
Mhm.
after that, with Ella still playing hockey, it continued on. And for me, my family is far away. So this is the family that I have in my community that helps me along. And so it's really important to be able to spend that time with them.
And so it sounds like you have a mix of it's not just friends. So some people do separate. You know what I'm saying? Like on Thanksgiving Day, they're doing their family the ones that you don't get to choose. You have your holiday. But I've heard some people will do Friendsgiving the day before or the day after or the weekend before, but that group is really just the friends group. But you guys are just hosting it on Thanksgiving Day, and then family is invited to come as well. So you kind of have a mix, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
And that mix really helps the dynamics of the group as well. It's fun to have my mom become friends with my friends and to get to know my friends' parents and siblings and make those connections.
Yeah, because we'd always see your mom when she would come to the hockey games. We'd see each other's parents, the grandparents of the kids that would come, but we aren't talkers at games. We like to watch the games, and so we never really got to meet them. So that's really cool. I didn't really think about that.
Sometimes the boys' friends will come over later as they're spending the day with their family, but then want to connect. And so often dessert round gets a little larger than our meal earlier in the day might have been as people come and go. And we just keep it casual. And when it works for you, please join us.
I'm assuming that you probably have some signature dishes that show up every year because people want or somebody likes to make. What are some of those?
For me, I always make sugared cranberries. I made them one year. I just thought they'd be pretty. They're basically just cranberries. You soak them in simple syrup, and then after they dry, you roll them in sugar. And they're just very pretty. You could put them in drinks or eat them plain. But Ella loved them so much that it became a tradition that I had to bring them every year. So that is the one dish that I bring every year. And she eats them nonstop.
Yes.
One of my favorite things to make is a squash side dish that I first found the recipe when I went looking for something savory to replace a traditional sweet potato sort of dish. And the thing I love about it, especially, is that it cooks on a stovetop instead of the oven. We mentioned before that sometimes we'll have a grilled turkey or a smoked turkey, but Dan's only allowed to grill a turkey if we have enough people that we get two turkeys, because I want a turkey in my oven on Thanksgiving Day when I am the hostess. I love how it makes the home smell. I love that piece of the tradition. So the rest of my menu is planned around having one of my ovens filled with a big turkey. And
Turkey.
so
Okay.
this squash dish, it's you cube butternut squash and saute bacon and onion and what isn't good with bacon, right? Bacon and
Hmm.
onion and the squash. At the last minute, you toss in some fresh basil, and it's just a nice balance with those other earthy flavors that you have on Thanksgiving Day. But I love that it cooks on the stovetop and doesn't need any oven space.
Yeah, that's really true, having to kind of time those out. Do you get a special squash from somewhere or do you grow the squash, Lisa?
Do not grow the squash. When the timing is right, I'll grab one at a farm stand or something like that. I have been known in some hectic years to get the pre-peeled, diced, bagged squash from the grocery aisle. So I really have done it a variety of ways, but I have never tried to grow squash.
Okay. Hey, you got to be able to have the shortcuts sometimes, it's just
That's right.
that's why it's
Yeah.
there. Yeah. How about anyone else that comes? Are there dishes in there that people love that you guys are thinking of that you are thankful that they bring?
I will say sometimes um, the Nielsen's join us, who also played hockey with us, and
Yeah.
Christy is a great baker, and she will
Okay.
often bring dessert. And when she does, we're very thankful for that. So
Otherwise, the mixing up tends to be things like twists on a traditional. So there's always stuffing. And if it is at my house, my mother has requested that I make my father-in-law's recipe. And
Oh,
so that is what I would traditionally make. But if we're at, for instance, Michelle's, she might try a new recipe that she went out and found. So usually that variation isn't way out there. They're just
mm-hmm.
twists on something traditional.
Sure. Do you still do mashed potatoes or some sort of potato, even though you're making your squash? Yeah, you're shaking your head. Yes. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Mashed potatoes and homemade gravy.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. That's a must.
So you must do kind of a potluck style, buffet style, or do you do a sit down, pass around the food?
We usually serve it as buffet among, as you said at the beginning, a variety, many tables usually. We're thankful to
Yeah.
have enough people that usually outgrow one table.
Do you do paper plates or use fancy dishes and have to assign people in the kitchen to wash dishes?
Yep.
Yep,
We
what?
definitely we like making pretty tablescapes and
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
Mhm.
we're into that for sure.
Good reason to bring out the china.
Yep.
And usually our sons hop up and clear the table and start taking the lead in the kitchen.
have you ever had anything that's been like a total failure, disaster, somebody making a turkey and it starts on fire, or I don't know, just anything that you think back and remember that one year?
Fortunately, we have not had any disasters that I can recall.
Yeah.
The closest thing to a disaster would be the year I was hosting and decided I needed a Thanksgiving nap. And I woke up to find all of the items on my wall rearranged.
What?
They had gone in my kitchen and rearranged all of the pictures and the copper molds and the things on my walls in my house while I took my Thanksgiving nap. So that's probably the closest to a disaster.
So
Yeah,
don't
not
take
it.
naps during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And
Well, then,
her mother was involved in that little prank as well. So,
mm, then you can't get mad, right, Lisa? If your mom
Right.
helped.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know how
Is
long
it?
did it take you to realize that we did that, Lisa?
I don't know, but it took me a long time to get it put back together.
So you didn't notice like right away when they were there?
I noticed
I
it
guess
while they
we,
were still there, but
yeah.
not
Oh,
like the moment I
oh,
walked into
okay.
the room.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say that'd be funny if everybody left and then they're like, she still didn't notice. What do you do with your leftovers? Is there anything that never has leftovers?
I feel like there's not usually a
There's
whole
never
lot
enough
left over,
turkey around. Never enough turkey left over to go around, but
right?
Yeah.
we've got it down now where if we know how many people are coming, we usually are pretty good with the proportions.
If somebody is like, this sounds really cool, what kind of advice do you have to give to somebody if they want to try this sometime?
I think it's okay to start small.
Mm,
Maybe start with something you've done traditionally and add in another couple or another family. Or if you want to connect with your friends, connect with friends that you already connect with and enjoy, and that's a nice way to ease into it. And then one thing we want to talk about is how this has helped us grow into a tradition that is beyond Friendsgiving. Michelle, you want to share a little bit about that?
oh,
Sure. We now do a monthly dinner club that kind
oh,
of grew out of this tradition because, with Thanksgiving, we were doing the host was making the main meal and then we would bring sides and stuff. And so now we do that monthly and the host decides on a theme. So like you were talking about, do you do other themes? Well, we do, but we do them in dinner club. So we do different
hmm
themes for that. And then one person brings drinks, one brings desserts, and one brings appetizers. And we have just had the best time. And we've been doing it for over 3 years now. So it stemmed out of my parents used to do it with their friends and family, and we talked about it for years that we were going to do this dinner club. But because of hockey, we never had time to do it. So once hockey was done, we
hmm
started up.
I love that because I've been talking to different people lately, just bringing up the topic of we used to go to people's houses and have a meal or just stop by, have coffee. I mean, my grandma always had cookies in the cookie jar because Sundays were the day that people, either my grandparents would go visit somebody or people would come to my grandparents. But that was just kind of the thing is people went to people's houses. And we have gotten a long ways away from that, I think, because even if you meet now, you're going out, you meet somebody for coffee somewhere, you're not going to their home. And I think we should bring that back. I wish we could do that. So I love that you guys are being intentional about getting together and in a sort of a casual way. So you're not making a big production out of it and just enjoying each other.
It gives us a group to try new recipes on.
And with people who you know will be honest, right? Like they're not going to go, oh, and then leave and then talk about you behind your back. And they're just going to say, don't do this one again.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Oh, that's really cool. And so is it just you three or I mean with your families or are there other so you
Um,
keep it pretty small?
for our dinner club, Nielsen's are involved in it too. It's
Okay.
just the four
For
group for
families.
adult, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just in
Adults.
the adults, the kids usually aren't, we've never had the kids, it's just been the
Yeah.
adults. So
Is it a scheduling nightmare? That's what I always think about though. Or
Our
do you just say
our
it's
Yes.
planner has a spreadsheet with all of, like what we've made and whose month it is to do desserts. So we just look to Lisa when we need to know whose month it is.
do you do like first Monday of the month or something? Like is it a standing time or
We schedule it the night we have it. We pull out our calendars and schedule the next one.
okay.
And there are certain times of year where we may have missed a month or two because it's wedding season and everybody has
Yeah.
something each weekend, but usually we can find a time.
Yeah. What does Friendsgiving mean to you now?
To me, it means the connection with the people who have become our family, and it is something that our children also look forward to. One of my sons this year, uh, he lives 3 hours away, and he will only be able to come that day. Will come that morning and will leave that evening. But it's important enough to him that he's making sure that he's here with us for that day. And I think it's something that all of us just really look forward to. And I think we've kept it casual enough over the years that it doesn't become stressful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just love sometimes we don't see our kids all together a lot and being able to sit down at the table and eat with all of them and hear their conversations just warms my heart. And I just love that time.
We've never done a kids table or a next
Mm,
generation table, partly for that reason. We enjoy getting to have those conversations with everyone.
the kids will tend to sit at one end of the table all together, but we're all still at
yeah.
the same table. And it's great to see, just to see how they've grown through the years and how they've matured and how the conversations are different now that they're all adults and
Hmm.
all of drinking age now.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun for them to see each other and get together too. It's not just about the parents, but they had a
Yeah.
close bond and this brings
Hmm.
them together in a way they probably wouldn't normally do if it weren't for you guys.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know my kids have always enjoyed it. They look forward to it. Ella will not be there this year. She's kind of bummed about that. She's going with her friend's family.
Okay.
So she's a little disappointed that she won't be there, but I know my kids
Yeah.
every year. They look forward to it.
And what you shared with me the cocktail recipe. Do you always get assigned cocktails?
I think you know that answer, Stacy. Yes, I do. And I have a little funny story from last year. I'm getting stuff ready to bring over and I'm testing my cocktails, and I give it to
Testing
Ella.
them? Okay.
Yep, I give it to Ella and she's like, Mom, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Why are you making me
Oh
taste
my.
these? I'm like, well, because I want to know if you think it's good or not. So, yes, I'm usually bringing cocktails to Friendsgiving. So,
What was this apple one? Because we'll share the recipe on my
um,
website.
yeah,
Did it
it
have
is.
Fireball in it?
Yes, Fireball, vanilla vodka, apple juice, and a little bit of cinnamon.
Okay.
But
So it's a
there's
cold,
been,
like over ice.
yeah, but there's been a lot of different ones that I brought over the years. So,
She's always testing on us,
yep, they're my guinea pigs.
and they're always good.
Well, that leads me to sort of we'll kind of close here, wrap up a little bit, but what does this year's Friendsgiving look like? Who's hosting, and is that the cocktail that you're bringing this year, Anne, or do you have something else up your sleeve?
I'm sure I'll find something else. I'm always on Pinterest looking for new things to bring. So,
And I'm hosting, and we will be doing just a turkey in the oven, much like Lisa. My husband would like to do something, so he'll be smoking a turkey as well. So we'll have two turkeys.
Mm. So it's at Michelle's this year. Are you bringing
Yeah.
your squash dish, Lisa?
I probably will bring a squash dish. I also am assigned an appetizer and found a warm caramelized onion and Gruyere dip that I'm going to try out on them. That was
Ooh,
in my Better Homes and Garden November issue. And so we'll have a little bit of everything.
that sounds really good. So who does bring dessert? Like, do you do pumpkin pie, pecan pie, some kind of cookies or bars? What do you have for sweets?
It depends on the year. My financial advisor offers a giant pie to anyone who wants it, pumpkin or apple, and I usually take him up on that. Um, so that gets us by for the basics, and then
Yeah.
usually someone gets assigned something. And both
Yeah.
Ella and Jeffrey like to bake, so sometimes, depending on their timing, we can get them to do something. Otherwise,
Mhm.
we're so full that we don't feel like we miss it, Stacy.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't surprise me because most of our holidays too, it's like we bring dessert, but we don't have dessert after the meal. You can't possibly eat more food when the meal's done. So it's only if you're together still a little bit later. A lot of times we end up just everybody kind of takes a little bit home with them to have for later, some of the desserts.
Or we just drink our desserts.
And what do you put in those tropical smoothies? I'm surprised you don't have a liquor license.
Right? You know how many people would love that?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. So what do you think that your Friendsgiving will look like 10 years from now? Have you thought about that? We'll all be in our 60s? Will you all be in your 60s?
Yep.
That's a great question. Man, I hadn't thought about that, Stacy. But right, when we've got the next generation and potentially grandchildren and
Mhm.
their
Yeah.
traditions,
Mhm.
I hope it just keeps getting bigger and that
Aw.
our children will choose to bring their spouses and their children, and that it's a tradition that everyone wants to continue.
Nobody will be moved south yet. We're not old enough to retire yet at that point.
You never
So
know.
you'll still be here.
I feel like we would still probably return for our Friendsgiving even if we moved away. So
Oh, Michelle. Yeah. What do you think, Anne? Do you have enough cocktail recipes for another 10 years?
Oh, I'm sure I can find them.
Well, thanks, you guys. Do you have anything else you want to share that I didn't think about? Really, I just want to kind of inspire people to say, hey, I can shake this up a little bit. I could do this. Or I have friends that I don't ever get to see. Maybe I should do something like this. To be intentional about it and actually make something happen.
It has been wonderful for us, and that intentionality has really become an important part of our lives and our traditions. Are you inspired to try a Friendsgiving now, Stacy?
I've thought about it and tried to think how would I do that, because I don't have like one friend group. I have a few neighbors or people that kind of live in the area that would be fun. They probably know each other, but maybe not. And then a few friends from some other towns, and I don't know how. So it would just be fun to have something a little bit more time, whether with family or friends. So yeah, I am. That's why I asked you to come here today, because I wanted to know how you do it, and you're making it sound just really easy. Like, yeah, you're just kind of hosting Thanksgiving like you already know how to do, and it's just
Right.
the people that are coming, and you're not making it difficult for anybody, and it's just an open invitation, and you're just making it really easy to kind of just gather people and make it a tradition. And I think it's really special. So I'm glad that you guys found that and are still making it work. It's pretty cool. I knew when I asked Lisa, I'm like, do you guys, like, I didn't even know if you still do it. I just remember thinking that you did. So it's really neat that you still are. And that 10 years from now, you're like, yeah, I hope we're still doing it.
yeah.
Well, thank you all for joining me. Happy Friendsgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. It was fun.
Thank you.
If you're inspired to start your own Friendsgiving, or maybe even a monthly dinner club, I hope that this episode gives you that nudge that you've been needing. It only takes one meal to start your own tradition of feasting with friends. You'll get the photos and the recipes from this episode on randomsweets.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, and if you aren't already, please follow Funeral Potatoes and Wool Mittens wherever you listen to podcasts, and share it with somebody who loves to entertain. If you're already following Funeral Potatoes and Wool Mittens, thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm your host, Stacy Morgenthau. Sweet wishes.